Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Institute of Digital Dentistry. Dr. Ahmad here, and today I'm sharing my thoughts on the new TRIOS 6 after using it extensively in my clinic since its launch at IDS 2025. As you all know, 3Shape has officially launched the TRIOS 6, and this release represents quite a different direction for the company. Rather than focusing on hardware improvements like we've seen with the previous generations, notably the jump between TRIOS 4 and 5, 3Shape has essentially taken a TRIOS 5, which I have here, an already excellent scanner, and loaded it up with a whole bunch of AI diagnostic features through their new DX Plus software. Now, let me be upfront about this. The TRIOS 5 was a solid release. That was always going to be hard to beat. In many ways, the TRIOS 6 might feel a bit like a disappointment if you're expecting some dramatic hardware improvements. But that's not what 3Shape is going for here. They're making a bold bet on AI diagnostics and patient communication built into the scanner. So what exactly is a TRIOS 6? Essentially, a TRIOS 6 is a TRIOS 5 with mostly the same proven hardware but significant software enhancements and diagnostic capabilities. The software maintains the familiar ergonomics and wireless operation that we're used to with the TRIOS 5, while adding what 3Shape calls a comprehensive ecosystem. The scanner, the new TRIOS DX Plus diagnostic software, and the dental health patient app. From a hardware perspective, the changes from TRIOS 5 to 6 are minimal. The TRIOS 6 almost looks identical to the TRIOS 5, as you can see. The main visual difference is this new Arctic Sapphire Blue metallic finish. They've refined the remote control button based on user feedback to address accidental activations. And interestingly, they're now shipping mainly single-use scanner tips with the scanner. The most substantial hardware improvement is what 3Shape claims is a 110% improvement in scanning resolution across the entire scan field. Now, having used it extensively in my clinic, I have to say this does seem true. The TRIOS 6 scans, as you can see on the screen, actually look super HD and are some of the sharpest in the industry. Now, whether this improved resolution has any clinical or accuracy impacts is debatable, but it certainly is impressive and it really plays into the diagnostic tools they have built. The big story here is the introduction of what they call hyperspectral imaging, essentially a multimodal scanning system that captures data using 3 different light sources simultaneously. You've got white light for basic geometry like taking a scan and color, and fluorescence detection for caries identification, and the addition of near-infrared imaging for enhanced diagnostic capabilities, particularly proximal caries regions. Now, this is similar to what iTero has been doing with their Neri technology, so it's interesting to see 3Shape bringing this to their flagship scanner. The nice thing is that this requires no additional scanning steps. You just take one scan and the TRIOS 6 captures all this information automatically, and then you can open up the DX Diagnostic app. Now, this is where things get totally different, the DX Plus software. This is where 3Shape has really invested their development efforts, and it's the most transformative aspect of the TRIOS 6 solution and maybe in any TRIOS scanner. The software leverages AI to provide 5 key diagnostic capabilities from a single scan. First, there's occlusal caries detection. So the system uses AI algorithms to analyze scan data for potential occlusal caries, providing both detection and severity classification with confidence ratings, which is a nice touch. And in my experience, this works reasonably well. Although remember, just like all AI, it's not 100% accurate, and so this is why they give you the confidence ratings. It is more of a patient communication tool. Second is the tooth wear analysis. This is a quantitative measurement system that tracks tooth structure loss over time in millimeters. And I have to say, this feature does quite well at highlighting wear patterns, and it's particularly useful for documentation and patient communication. Now, when you combine this with 3Shape's already amazing software for comparing scans at different times, this is probably my favorite of all the diagnostic tools, and I find it to be very powerful to show patients before and after over time. Third is gingival recession analysis, where the scanner automatically identifies both the CEJ and the current gingival margin position, calculating recession depths with precise measurements. This is another area where the AI actually does consistently well. It's kind of impressive to see this in a scanner. And fourth is something I've never seen in a scanner before, plaque detection. So what the scanner software does is provide digital visualization of plaque accumulation without requiring traditional disclosing solutions. Now, this is a cool concept, but I would describe it as so-so in practice. It's not 100% accurate in my experience, sometimes picking up abstractions, and I'll be honest, I mainly used it for patient education rather than an 100% diagnostic tool. But maybe that's what it's designed for. Finally, there's proximal caries detection, which combines data from all three light sources to enhance the visibility of proximal carious regions. And currently this functions more as a visualization tool rather than automated detection. And in a way it works similar to iTero Lumina with their diagnostics, so it's a nice feature to have in a scanner. But I'm curious, and this is a question for you, do you select a scanner based on caries detection? But anyway, here's my take on AI features after extensive use. They're excellent communication tools, more than true, hardline diagnostics. And I have to give it to 3Shape. This is one of the best software suites I've seen for communicating with patients about their oral health conditions. The visualizations are clear, the interface is intuitive, and it's just made with patients in mind, making it very simple to see with colors and shading. And in my experience, patients really do respond well to seeing their conditions highlighted on the screen. It does take a bit of a different approach to your exams, however, and this is something the industry has been pushing for some time. Scan every single patient at every exam. So is this finally a good enough reason to do it? Maybe. But here's the thing. I'm not entirely sure if this is exactly the market push or what dentists want. Especially when, here's the kicker, there's a monthly subscription fee attached. The DX Plus platform costs $199 per month, and that's in USD, which is in addition to TRIOS Care. That's a decent ongoing cost for these features, so you might need to consider that. The TRIOS 6 also introduces a revolutionary app in a way, the Dental Health Patient app, which allows patients to access their scan data, view the AI-detected conditions, and track treatment progress. It's actually quite a cool app when incorporated properly. This is 3Shape's first patient-focused education app, and it's well done. I mean, it even gives them education on how to improve their oral hygiene. Once again, this vision of scan every patient has been discussed for years, and while using the TRIOS 6, I really feel we might just have the compelling reason to implement regular scanning protocols, especially if it leads to better patient education and case acceptance. Now, AI aside, as a scanner, the TRIOS 6 is solid, just like the TRIOS 5 has been. I've been using TRIOS scanners for years and they can handle everything you throw at them. They have been a market leader for some time. It's consistently one of the best scanning experiences available on the market. The scanning speed is excellent, the AI handling of soft tissues is great, and the overall reliability of the scanner day in, day out, even in a busy practice, is outstanding. With the TRIOS 6 though, what's actually happened is they've updated the UI to be more modern and cleaner for the entire TRIOS range. And I have to say, the new interface looks better, more like a scratch pad look now, and the buttons now are much more streamlined and look a bit cleaner. They've also improved the workflow order and some naming. Status scan is now called baseline scan, which makes a lot more sense. And the new model view while scanning zooms in and out of areas of interest, which is a nice touch. Now, sometimes it does it incorrectly, but most of the time I've appreciated it. The workflows as well are generally very good. I have to say though, I'm still waiting on the true abutment full arch workflow that many of us have been requesting. And one thing I wish that was present in TRIOS software in 2025 and beyond is changing workflows, rather than having the baseline ones that are quite rigid. In other words, the software doesn't currently allow adding scan windows like some other systems do. Now, pricing wise, the TRIOS 6 starts at $27,900 USD, positioning it well in the premium segment of the market, along the likes of iTero Lumina, and above the competitors like Medit i900, etc. For reference, the TRIOS 5 was launched at $25,900 and remains at that price point. You also can get it as a laptop setup with a certified Dell workstation for additional $3,150, or the new Move Pro cart for an extra $8,000. I personally use the laptop version, which worked fine, and I'm glad they improved the Dell computer since the last time I reviewed the TRIOS 5, because these computers are much better and I experienced next to no lag. But the Move Pro actually has some nice improvements, including finally an integrated battery and a larger screen. Now, one interesting strategic move is that 3Shape is discontinuing the TRIOS 4 and the TRIOS 3 wireless models, streamlining their lineup to create clearer positioning across the board. TRIOS Core is for the low-cost option, TRIOS 3, the updated version, is for Invisalign, TRIOS 5 is their premium wireless scanning, and TRIOS 6 is for AI diagnostics and patient engagement. So what's my overall assessment? The TRIOS 6 to me is a fascinating turning point, but I'm honestly more curious to see how the market reacts. 3Shape is making a bold bet that practices want AI diagnostic tools integrated in their scanning workflow, and they're willing to pay a monthly subscription for that privilege. The hardware itself is essentially identical to the excellent TRIOS 5, which isn't necessarily bad because the TRIOS 5 was already a fantastic scanner. The AI features are impressive as patient communication tools, and the patient app is well executed and could genuinely improve patient engagement. But here's my concern. In a market where hardware is getting better and cheaper, is a monthly subscription for AI features going to put people off? Time will tell, but I think this is a bit of a gamble by 3Shape, especially following the raging success of the TRIOS 5. As a scanning experience, the TRIOS 6 is excellent, just like the TRIOS 5 has been. So if you're looking for a premium scanner with the latest AI features and you're comfortable paying a subscription model, the TRIOS 6 delivers. But if you're primarily interested in excellent scanning performance without the AI bells and whistles, the TRIOS 5 might still be the better choice. The industry is clearly moving toward more intelligent digital workflows, and 3Shape with the TRIOS 6 appears to be leading this transformation. Whether practices are ready for this shift remains to be seen. So that's my take on the TRIOS 6. It's a fascinating pivot by 3Shape, and we will have to wait and see how it goes in this market. Thanks for watching. To read a full review on the TRIOS 6, go to instituteofdigitaldentistry.com. I'll see you in the next video.